Hello, happy Thursday, everybody. Sorry, was just trying to get my little post box embossed just because I still have to fussy cut it. I forgot to fussy cut them. Hey, Margaret, how are you, honey? So, tonight we are going to play with the Petal Park stamp set and the coordinating die. So a punch, sorry. This punch actually lines up with these flowers, so it's quick and easy to get your flowers punched. And I'll show that to you as we go along. And then for the post box, I use this stamp right here from the Stamped with Love stamp set. And I had a request to do cards in Highland Heather. And so that is what I chose tonight. I have some Highland Heather, some Gorgeous Grape. This is the Scallop Contours die. And then here's our flowers. This is a retired leaf punch, the old olive. And this is actually I'm not sure if the name is on here. I want to say it is, oh, I can't think of the name of the punch, but it's an old punch that I have that I thought little sprigs in here would look cute. Hey, June. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Mimi Cakes. All right, and then I emboss the background with the Basics 3D embossing folders. And then on the inside, I use the bedazzling specialty paper and just put it in. I wanted to tie it into this card. All right. I even added some leaves. On this card, I actually blended the background, I embossed, and I watercolored. If you remember when I did the embossing in the white, I was able to color the embossed areas with the blends because it did not affect the embossing. With the gold and the silver, the blends do tend to take the color away. So I ended up watercoloring and then punched out some flowers, added a layer of the bedazzled designer series specialty paper. And then I also embossed and watercolored the flowers on the inside. And then it says, "Dear friend, let's celebrate." All right. And then we have our post box. I put some flowers on the front with the sprig and the leaves, and I embossed the post box in gold, created a little box, and I have it on the back side also. And then I just added a little bag of M&Ms. Okay. And I have a few extra here. So let's work on this card first. So we only have a little bit of embossing on here. And let me just grab my pieces. I have them in a box here. So let's see if I have all my pieces. Usually I lose half of it, right? All right. So we are going to start with, I have everything inside. So 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. All right. So we're going portrait, and let's move my camera. There we go. That's better. All right. Then let's layer this card up. I have some basic white, and it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then here is my Highland Heather 5 1/4 by 4, and I ran it through with the Basics 3D embossing folders. Now those embossing folders come in a pack of 3, and I believe I don't believe they're in the annual catalog. I think you will find them under online exclusives. You'll only be able to find them online, and I believe a pack of 3 is $30. So they're $10 a piece. All right. So we're just going to adhere this down. I'm just going to trim this down just a hair. I think that's good. I'll keep that close in case I need it again. And then we're just going to make sure this is opening the correct way. And we are going to just adhere this right to the front of the card. So how's the weather been treating everybody? We had rain today on and off. Hey, Kathy, how are you, honey? Happy Thursday. Hello, Karen. That's what you said. Well, you be safe when you're outside. It's actually pretty cool here right now. I'm not sure exactly. Let's see. It was raining a little bit. My computer, the temperature on my computer is definitely not, can't be the temperature. It's 72 here. So it's nice and cool. Little bit of rain. It's drizzling. All right, so then we have some gorgeous grape, and here's your Highland Heather, Karen. I decided to do Highland Heather. Oh, you had a storm today this morning. Yeah, the weather 98 in Georgia. Wow. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Look at California. So this is the 2 5/8 by 4, and I die cut it with the stitched rectangles, and this is gorgeous grape. The weather has just been so crazy. I believe, though, that we are headed for another heat wave. That's the rumor that I've been hearing. I'm hoping it doesn't get too bad, because it's been almost like fall weather the last few days here. And I would hate to have to go back to hot weather. And I am going to pop this up onto the front of the card. And I'm going to get it on here straight. Although it would be nice to be able to turn the air conditioners off. That would be really nice. I can't get this on straight. There we go. I think that's straight. Nope. Because I can't believe my electric bill is, we don't do anything different month to month. Everything is always the same. And my electric bill is $150 more this month than it was last month. That's crazy. All right. So here is the card base so far. And looking at it, I guess that's straight. So I'm going to add a layer of basic white, and this is the scallop contour die that I cut this with. And I also prepared some basic white flowers that I stamped in gorgeous grape. And then I stamped some Highland Heather and punched Highland Heather flowers, and I also stamped them in Highland Heather. Here are those little leaves that I said the punch is retired. I kept it because you always can use some leaves to fill in. And I don't even, it was this one here. Okay. And then I have a few little white sprigs. Martha Stewart. That's what this it just hit me. It is a Martha Stewart punch. That's what those little sprigs are. All right. So before we do anything, we are going to, and I think I need one more little flower. I think that's what I forgot to punch. I can hear Bill singing. If you hear him on the on the video, don't laugh. He has his headphones on and he's enjoying some music so I can hear him singing. So I'm going to grab my stamp and I put the thing back down again. And we're just going to grab thanks. And I'm going to bring my Versamark in and we are going to stamp thanks right in the center here. And I'm going to try to get it as straight as can be and center it. I forgot to use my little embossing buddy. I've been having trouble with getting embossing powder all over. So hopefully it'll emboss nice. All right, so we're just going to emboss the word. See? And it's all that extra embossing powder. So let's just get this off here. Just use a little brush. And we're just going to, this is why you want to use that little embossing buddy. It just helps. There's some right here in the middle. It helps with the static of the embossing powder. I just don't want too much gold splatter all over. All right, so let's get this heated. I'm missing my conversation. Yeah. Wow, 117. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? All right, there's that. While I have the heat going, I'm going to do my little post box. One more. All right. While the gun was hot, I just wanted to get those post boxes done. All right. So let's get this embossing powder back in. And you're right, Dew. If you flick it, it does come off pretty good. Sometimes, though, you get those little specks. I'm going to close that up. We're going to pull our card back in, and I am going to add a little bit of glue right around where the stitching is. And we're going to lay this down, and I'm going to probably have to hold it for a second because it warped, because it wasn't, that's why I did the post box, because it was not hot enough for this one. And while it was hot, I wanted to get that post box. All right, it's down now. All right, so there's our thanks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this purple Highland Heather that I even stamped with Highland Heather. I'm going to add a dimensional, and we are going to add this right here to the corner. All right. And we're going to do the same thing to this corner over here, but we're going to add the white and the gorgeous grape right there on that corner. All right, so now we're going to fill in, and I'm going to grab some leaves. This is the fun part. We get to decorate, and we have to watch because I have that dimensional under there, so it's going to get stuck. And I'm not going to be able to fit these in. So all I'm doing is just adding some fill. I'm going to just lift that up a second onto our card. Now I do have a piece of the bedazzled that this is from the Sentimental Park dies. So I cut these leaves. I'm going to add the little leaf right up here. And I'm going to do this before I add any more flowers. So we're just going to stick that under there. Make sure it sticks. And then we're going to just grab our other two flowers and we're going to add a little bit of glue. Fit that under there. And a little bit of glue. And we're just going to slide that under there. All right, quick and easy. Hey, Anita, how are you? Long time no see. Welcome back. And then the same thing with the Highland Heather flowers on the bottom. And now we're going to add some of the foliage. And I'm going to cut this short because I'm going to stick it underneath the flower instead of underneath. Oh, we can fit it right there. All right. And then on this side, we're going to put two of these sprigs. We're going to fit it right up here. That's one. So we're just filling in, just like we were going to create a floral arrangement. We're just fitting everything in. And I'm just going to, I did the same thing when I was doing it this afternoon. Just want to take off that flower for a second. And we're going to add this other piece of gold, the bedazzled paper in gold. And we're just going to lay that in there. Now I'm going to add a little bit more glue. And we're going to lay this right down on that bedazzled. All right, just so simple. Now, I didn't do my extra flower here. So let's just grab a piece of cardstock. And I'm just going to do the one flower. So this is Gorgeous Grape. Let me just grab the flowers. And I want just this little tiny one here. So I'm just going to add some ink just to that tiny little flower. Give it a stamp. Let's grab the punch. First I'm going to close this in case the flower goes flying. And we're just going to punch this one little flower. And we're going to add that right here. I was using pearls, and I'm looking to see. I think I used up just about all my pearls. So let's just grab these. We're going to put 1, 2, oops, just one flying, and then we'll put 1 there. All right, so there is the front of our card. Thanks, Margaret. And then, like I said, for the inside, I just did it very simply. We have some Highland Heather, 5 1/4 by 4, and then we have some basic white, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and I'm going to make some room. And we're going to grab a 1/2 inch. It might be 5/8. Let me just check. It is 5/8, and we wanted the length of the card. So this is 5 1/8. So we're going to lay down this Highland Heather, and we're going to push it down so it's even, at least on one end. And then we're going to add some more glue and grab our bedazzled. We're going to lay that right down. As long as that end is straight and it's even up here, it should lay straight. And we're just going to trim this ever so slightly. Grab our Highland Heather. Add some seal. And we can lay this right down. You know what? This is 5 by 3 3/4. So this is 5 inches long. Now that I laid it down on that Highland Heather, I can see that it wasn't 1/8 of an inch. It was 1/4 of an inch different. All right. So there is our first card. Simple, yet pretty, right? Thanks, Stu. Yeah, I aren't the pearls retired though? I thought I have a catalog right here. Let me just look. I meant to check that. I thought, maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. The pearls are there. Oh, they're iridescent pearls. Okay, we have iridescent pearls, but the basic pearls are no longer here. And that was a basic pearl. All right, I have iridescent pearls. That's what I wanted to check. There are. I just looked. I didn't see them. All right. I have my catalog. All right, so they are. These are iridescent. No, Dew, there aren't. They are not here anymore. No more basic. Number 7. They're iridescent pearl basic. The pearls I had were just regular basic pearls, and they're different. I do have the iridescent ones, I think. I don't know. I'll have to look. Okay, so let's move on to our second card. Now, this one is a little bit more involved, but we'll have some fun. Yeah, they do look the same. They're just a little iridescent. I'll have to grab some of those and see how they are. All right, so we are using Highland Heather again, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and we're going to do another portrait card. I could have done it landscape, but I think it looks prettier portrait. And then we have, you can see I did some flowers, and I have one here, and this is the inside. I'm just gathering all my things together. All right, so we are going to layer it up with some gorgeous grape, and this gorgeous grape is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and then I have a bedazzled gold, and I purposely just cut a square out of the center so I could use it for something else. And this is 5 by 3 3/4. Then I have a piece of Highland Heather that is 4 3/4 by 3.5. And then I have a piece of basic white that is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. Okay, so the way I did this card, and I'm just going to grab a scrap piece for now. Instead of doing the blending with the blending brush first, I decided to emboss first. Mostly, yeah, thanks. Mostly because if I did the blending first, the wet ink, I would have to wait for the ink to be completely dry. The wet ink would grab onto my embossing, okay? So we're going to emboss first so we don't get a lot of embossing powder all over the layer. This time we're going to use the embossing buddy. I'm trying to talk over Bill. He's in there just serenading. He is loud tonight. He must be feeling better. Before I came in here, he was saying that his ears are ringing. He has tinnitus really bad, and his ears are ringing. All right, so we're going to do the leaves first. And as I'm sitting here wondering where they are, they're right here. Okay, so this stamp set, we have the leaves, and then we could actually stamp the color inside, but we're not going to do that. We are going to stamp this on the front of this card, just like this. And all I wanted to do was get it so it would fit on here really well. I wanted this full stamp on at least one section of the card. So we're just going to turn it. I'm going to try to get this so it is in here pretty good. And we're going to give it a good stamp. Okay. Then what I did is I looked around to see what was the best section to stamp up here. And here is a good piece that I don't have to really worry too much about getting ink all over. So I'm just going to ink this piece up right here. And we're going to lay this down, and I just am going to stamp that right in the corner. Let's get rid of that stamp. I'm going to have to turn this over. Let's get the gold embossing powder. And we're going to just pour it on the front of this card. All right, that looks good. This is directions to my I have a Halloween mini class I did. I just haven't had a chance to post it. Those are my directions. All right, give me a second to emboss this. Hey, Carol, how are you? The stamp said Karen is Petal Park. You can't hear him? Thank goodness. Okay, I think that looks good. Yeah, it's actually pretty neat listening to him because this second cancer treatment really took its toll. He was not feeling good at all. Okay, so now that I have the leaves embossed, I am going to grab my brush, my blending brush, and I'm going to just grab this piece of paper again and our Highland Heather. I should have my little, I don't know, I didn't pull it out. I should grab my, yeah, let's use this. This is better. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to blend some color onto the front of this. Now that it's embossed, I don't have to worry about the embossing powder. So I am just going to add some Highland Heather to the front of this card. I'm going to have to put something there. So we just want to add some color. And I'm going right over the leaves. I'm not worrying about the purple or the Highland Heather getting on the leaves, because we're going to use some old olive and color those right up. All right. So that looks good. You can make it darker. Actually, it is dark. You can see the reflection of the light just makes it look so light. Let's see if I can add some more color here. That bright light. It's amazing. Some nights it's dark in here, and some nights that light is really bright. All right. Okay, so we got some color. Now I am going to make life easy, I just grabbed my water painter. I'm going to grab some old olive, and I actually just have a cup of water. It just makes it so much easier. So I'm just going to add some water on here, and then I'm going to add some water to the leaves. I want them to be, oops, not that one. I want them to be wet to start with, and then I'm going to grab some color, and we're just going to color in these leaves. Just a really quick Nothing fancy watercolor, okay? And we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to add some water, pick up some color, color in our leaves. So you can see that the blending with the Highland Heather did not hurt our leaves. You would think that it would really drastically change the color, but it really doesn't. The colors layer nicely. All right, so now we have our leaves colored, okay? We can put that aside for a minute, and we're going to let that dry. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 1, 2. Okay, that's good. We can use these. I'll just change up the flowers a little bit. So I have my purple, my white flowers, and they're embossed in gold. I'm going to now grab some Highland Heather, and I'm going to work it the same way. I'm going to add water to my petals, and then I'm going to add the dark to the center, and I'm going to let that bleed out. Okay, let's put that aside. I have another little one here. And we're going to just add some water. And we're going to push the color from the center out. And what I'm going to do is really water it down now. Get some that's really watered down and do the ends. That's one. And I'm doing all the flowers the same way. Just filling it with water. And it's easier when you emboss to do this because you have those rigid lines. So it just makes it a little easier. You can pull that water. You don't have to worry about it running. So I've been watching a new trial. All the trials we've been watching are over. So we're always trying to find something else to watch. And this one, it's actually going on now. It's based in Iowa, actually. It's the Henry Dinkins trial. And it's been running on the Law and Crime Network. All right. So here's our flowers. Quick and easy watercolor. And again, that light is really reflecting. But they're just very light. Yes, you're right. It coordinates with the Sentimental Park, and that is what I'm actually, let me just grab it. Here is the Sentimental Park. It has all the sentiments, and here are the dies. This is the die, and don't mind the mess. This is the die that I die cut the Bedazzled. It also has some really pretty little frames. You can see I used it. And then here is the Petal Park stamp set. And I just used the leaves. That's what I embossed. And here's the flowers. You can also stamp the color into the flowers if you want, and into the leaves. And then it has some little ones down here. And then there is a coordinating punch. All right. So those are the pieces. Thank you, Carol, for stepping up there for me. I missed that message. Happy choring, Karen. Keep cool. All right, so we have that. Now we have our flowers. This should be dry now. So I'm going to put on my dear friend. And we have it right here. So we're going to be really gentle. I'm going to actually make sure I have some powder on there. We're going to do this as gentle as possible. I'm going to make sure it's on here straight. What do I do with my paper? My desk space is getting smaller and smaller. I've been taking stuff out of my basket for each card, and my desk is getting fuller. All right. So there's our dear friend. Let me just... Hey, Dawn. All right. So now we have our dear friend. Now we can add our flowers. And for our flowers, we are just going to pop them all up. So let me get my dimensionals. And we're going to start with this space here. We're going to add a large flower into this space. We're going to grab the medium flower. And we're going to add it down here to that space. And then we have a little tiny flower. And I'm actually going to grab one of these smaller dimensionals. I'm going to put that right there. So we're just filling in some space. Now this one does not go there, but I just wanted to add an additional small flower right there. And this card, I have a medium. I'm going to put the large up here because that's what I have already done. Oops, already done. So let's put a large flower there. All right, so we have our flowers. We're just going to grab some ribbon. And I'm going to do a single ribbon on this card. I want to see how it looks. So this is just the gold twine. And I think I threw my bag away. But it comes with a spool of silver and the gold. And we're just going to tie our bow. Now that the loops look like they're too big, we can always make them smaller. And that looks pretty good. So let's cut our tail. We can fluff them up. And we're going to grab a dimensional. I'm actually going to put this right in between all our flowers. Just like that. All right, so let's get our card layers out now. I believe I just adhered everything down. So we'll grab our gorgeous grape layer. Uh-oh. Let me grab a new one. I don't want to fight with it. I'll fight with it when I'm by myself. So much nicer when it's a new glue. All right, so let me just move up here a little bit. So we're just adding our layer of gorgeous grape. And then I am adding the layer of bedazzled. And like I grabbed the old one again. And like I said, I just cut that square or rectangle out of the center with the stitched rectangle dies. And I'm just going to use it on something else. I just didn't want to waste all that center of the paper. I know it looks crazy, right? But nobody's going to know because we're going to take our Highland heather now. And we're going to add this right to the front. Scoot that over a little bit. And you'll never know. Thanks, Margaret. All right. So now we have our front, and I am actually going to take the seal and I'm going to go right around the outside edge because it is just a little bit warped, and I want to make sure that it lays down on the front of the card straight. I just want to make sure that doesn't hang over. Got it so it opens the correct way. And we're going to line this up. Just like that. All right. So there is the front of our card. Just a little extra work, right? Now for the inside, I have my Highland heather, looking for my ruler, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and then I have the basic white 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Now for this layer, for the inside of this card, I need to change my blades on my trimmer. I put the flowers and I actually embossed them again. And I wanted the large flower to be in the center. So we're just going to ink this up with some Versamark. And we're going to lay this down just like that. All right, so we have our leaves. Then I'm going to grab the flowers, and here's the spaces for the two, and here's the space for the large. So we're going to just ink this up. And I probably should have cleaned it, but that's okay. And we're going to fit this right inside here. Hopefully I did it good. And now we can emboss it. All right, let me quick heat this up. Thankfully, that dirty stamp didn't ruin anything. Let's just make some room here. I think we're done with the embossing. So let's just get this out of the way. Pull this back in. All right, so now that it's embossed, let's grab our painter again. We'll start with the Highland Heather that I cleaned. There we go. And we're just going to add some water to the flowers. And then just quick color it in. Same thing down here. Again, it's pretty forgiving. So if you've never watercolored, it is quick and easy for sure. So I'm just adding a puddle of water, picking up some color, starting in the center, and that color will bleed right to the end. All right, so that's the Highland Heather. We're going to grab the old olive, and we're going to do the same thing to the leaves. We're just filling in these leaves, picking up some color, and letting that bleed through. Oop, forgot these two. All right, so just really quick and easy. If you are afraid that it's still too wet, you can just take a piece of paper towel and lay it over top, and it just blots it so it's nice and dry. Move those out of the way. Get our card base, our mat. Grab our, oh, I forgot to put the other stamp. Did I put, oh, here it is. I forgot the Let's Celebrate. So thankfully it's just a flat surface. So we'll put Let's Celebrate right in the center. And we can grab our card. I think I better start pulling my glues out and opening them up. I have 5 of them sitting here now. All right, so there is our second card. All right, and then we have our post box. Now our little post box, again, it is from, I'm looking for my scissors. It's the Stamped with Love, and it does not come with dies. So we're just going to quick fussy cut. It's all straight edges, so it's nice and easy. And I wanted to utilize the stamp set again. I actually have a few stamp sets that I'd like to start using. It's already August. Got to get some Halloween stuff going. Need to get some Christmas stuff going. There is a really pretty, and that's really what I was going to do tonight, actually. And I was going to do it in Highland Heather, which would be really crazy. But let me show you the stamp set. It's so cute. It's St. Nicholas. And it has a little, again, a post box, a bag of toys, and little pieces here. And I was going to do it in Highland Heather. How crazy, right? I think it would have been pretty, though. All right. So I fussy cut our 2 post box. And I'm just looking here. I think I have to get here is my leaf and my sprig. We have to just, I thought my embossing was done. I have to do one more set of flowers. Here they are. So let me just do that quick. It's funny, I thought I was done. I'm looking for it. There it is. All right, so let's just do this quick. Thankfully, there's a punch, right? So quick embossing. Just want to get that one. That looks good. We don't really need 3, but might as well. All right, let's heat this up. Oh, how nice. Welcome back, Karen. And I think I was explaining or showing you all the things after Carol had explained, but the sentimental park is with all the sentiments with some flowers, and then there are dies that go with it, little frames. This is the leaf that I used tonight, and just cute little frames. Here's the Petal Park that I'm using tonight, and then it comes with the coordinating punch. I keep calling it a die. And it lines up perfectly for our flowers. Just have to get them all lined up and give them a punch, and they're perfect. So let's grab our Highland Heather, and we're going to quick color these. So they have a few minutes to dry. And this time I am just filling them with color. Has anybody seen The Witcher on Netflix? We've been watching that. Oh my goodness, it's almost over and it's gotten so good. I'm going to hate for it to end. All right, so there are our flowers, and we need an inside box. So this is 4 7/8 by 6.5, and I scored it at 1.5 and 3 and nope, that's a lie. I scored it at 1.5 from the left-hand side, 1.5 from the right-hand side. And then I turned it, and I scored it at 2.5 and then 4. Okay, just a simple square. And we're just gonna fold and burnish, or perfect rectangle, right? A square. So we're just gonna fold and burnish, and then we're gonna grab our scissors, and I'm gonna cut. I like to cut that bump out. So I'm going to the left on that, to the right on this, and then I'm just going to give it a little angle cut. Take those pieces out. All right, so we're just creating a tab. Oh, that was a game? Really? Because I really liked the show. And now that we're towards the end, I'm going to hate for it to be done. Well, that was crooked. Doesn't matter. All right, so just angling that out. All right, so now we have 2 tabs. I don't have any Seal Plus left, so I'm actually going to use just regular seal. Okay, and we're just going to make a open-ended box. So we want to line it up at the edge, and then the same on this side. You want to line this up right at that score line. Okay, and then this time we'll use some glue. I'm going to put some all the way around. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We'll just give that a second to dry a little bit, and then just going to pull it up, and it close up the sides. All right, we want to make sure this top edge is straight on both sides. This way you'll know your box it's squared. All right, quick little box. Okay, 3, I'll be darned. Okay, so I did my post box. So let's just, we'll add some glue. And we're going to add this right to the front. I'm going to turn it over so that has a chance to flatten out. And then we have the second post box. So we're just going to add it to this side. Give that a minute to dry. And then, like I said, I just put some M&Ms in a little gusset bag. to add to the inside. And then we're going to add our flowers. I'm going to start with the large. Let's, whoops, add a dimensional. Actually, you know what? Let's put our leaf down first so I don't mess it up and not be able to get it in here. So we're just going to add our leaf. Add our sprig. Add our flower. This time I'm going to grab the smaller flower and I'm actually going to tuck it under just like that. All right, so there's our post box. Here is our dear friend. And here is our thanks. So I didn't even put the postcode up. I'll add it to the post when I post the PDF. But if you'd like these make and takes, all you have to do is place a $30 order on my online store using the host code that I post, and I will send you these make and takes for free. Thanks, Stu. And a book series, I'll be darned. Thanks, Mimi Cakes. So, ladies, have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow around 10 for our Fun Fold Friday. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even have one prepared yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to make. So enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks, Sheila. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. Thank you. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.